Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today I have a personable review for the PlayStation VR2. Now there's kind of a lot to go over, but I'm going to keep it real short and simple and give you a quick synopsis and what I would rate it, and if I'd recommend it, or recommend to wait, or recommend to pass altogether. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is go over my personable review for the PlayStation VR2. We're going to start off real quick. We're just going to start going through everything with my experience of playing it and starting it up from get-go. I will tell you, go ahead and check the unboxing video if you did miss out on that. It is a pretty cool video just to see a quick reaction, what it looks like out of the box, and it is part of the Call of the Mountain Horizon bundle, so we did get that as well. It's just a digital code, but still kind of a cool box and all that fun stuff. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. Moving on, let's get the first part out, not the headset, but let's take a look at these controllers. Now, as we went through here, I just got a quick synopsis from the unboxing itself, but these controllers are just so good. Again, remember that these are haptic feedback controllers, so DualSense controllers in a VR form, so to speak. The buttons are really small, but they're just big enough to feel like a good button. It's not too small or microscopic. My hands aren't super small, but they're not super big. It's really in between. I think these work out great. For even larger hands than this, I think you'd still be okay. But essentially, you know, the strap is really good. You just go ahead and move this little knob here up and down to tighten it if you want. Apologies there. And simply go ahead and move your hand through there like so. And obviously this is for the wrong hand, so if I could do that correctly. But essentially, you put that in the right hand. You'll know that from the triangle and square button will always be on your left, as opposed to the circle and square buttons going on your right, just like so. Real simple. So once you understand the concept of which way and direction to put these in, they work really well. The analogs are really tight and responsive. And like I said, every button back, you got your R1, L1s, and you got your R2, L2 triggers. Super responsive. They work really well with most of the games. Well, not most, all of the games that I've played so far. They just look great. They feel great. They feel tight, and they feel like they are part of your hands when you're playing the games. I cannot recommend these enough. They're great. If you did get the charging station for the controllers like I did, as you can see in the unboxing, I did unbox that as well. You'll input these little pieces you put at the USB deals. Then you just set it on the charger, each one, as it fits in there and charges itself. If not, these aren't part of it. It just has an open USB-C portion, and you go ahead and plug it in real quick, real easy. Has a white light that does show you that it is in fact charging, and it is really quick to charge. So I think that's fantastic as well. I can't stress enough how great these controllers are. Now, I have played with other VR headsets, with Oculus and the Meta, whether it be at demos of games and at stores where you get to try it out. And I have to say these are better. The other ones didn't have haptic. They had a little bit of rumbles to them and stuff like that. It's just not the same. It's just like if you're comparing a DualSense controller, the normal PS5 DualSense controller, to another Xbox or even a Switch Pro controller. It's just on another level. They did just such a fantastic job. It's hard to go back to those types of controllers now, or any other controller that doesn't support that type of feature. I don't see how haptics wouldn't be a thing going forward for every platform and stuff like that, on a side tangent. But moving on from there, like I showed you before, we have the headset there that only has the one cord. Do I wish this was cordless? Yes, but the reason for the cord is to support that power to the OLED headset. Now, I feel like there's going to eventually be a PS5 Pro, and if not, I think this will be backwards or forwards compatible with the PS6 or a PS5 Pro. Reason I say that is because right now we do have an OLED screen. When you have this on and it's around your face, it is an OLED screen at 60 frames per second, but I know we can get even higher resolutions, and I know we can get even higher frame rates, like 120 frames, FPS, if you will. So just, I really think we can even do more. But every game looks phenomenal in this. You are 110% immersed. You really are. I had the first VR as well. This is leaps and bounds of what this was being offered. You have the still twist clicky here thing that tightens it about your head. You have the telescopic button up here that you would normally have for the PSVR1, so it works the same as well. And this little knob here that I'm not going to move up and down, it's just a little dial that focuses between the eyesight that you have. So if you are having a different vision than 20/20, or maybe this just sits a little higher or lower on your face, then of course you're going to focus that a little bit better to give you the most crisp vision that you can have with the headset on. The accordion blackout portion here that you can see, this is a little bit better than the PSVR1 that gives you a true blackout version without it being super suction to your face tight. Now, I did have a couple issues with this at first. Because of the PSVR1 and my tendencies with that, I was tightening this a little too much and making my head hurt. You don't have to tighten it as much. This is much more well fitted to most people's faces and heads, so keep that in mind. Also, speaking of the the haptic feedbacks, you are getting that rumble support in the headset too. So as things are above you, rocks falling, whatever, it starts shaking your head. It's almost like kind of like a massage. So me being a bald person, it actually feels kind of nice. I don't know what those with hair, how it truly feels. I'm assuming you're not getting the full, but I can tell you as a positive of a bald person, it feels really good. So that's really a testament on its own, right? But really good. Again, you have the lenses there. They can get smudged depending where you're grabbing. Usually your fingers shouldn't be grabbing the lenses, but of course if it does, definitely use the cloth that we normally wipe off your cell phone or your glasses in general or something like that. Do not use any other cleaner and stuff. That will get rid of these smudges all the same. So really just a phenomenal piece of hardware here for the price as well. Like I said, even just checking in with the stores lately and checking the price of the Quest and the Oculus and all that, $550 folks for this is just a phenomenal deal. It just pays for itself in the long run. If you're a VR aficionado, it's a no doubt get. If you are on the fence, I think it's a get because there's so many different genre games and this really brings it to life, the immersion. If you're big into racing, Gran Turismo 7 in the VR is great, but a couple recommendations I'm going to say that I spent the most time with, obviously Call of the Mountain here. That game is phenomenal. Highly recommend picking it up. You're using your bow, you have the haptics. I think it has the best visuals and the scope of it making you feel like a real human being versus the dinosaur-like machines in the world, and the scale and the bigness and the surroundings make you truly feel that small, especially when you are maybe getting close and personal with them in battle. Maybe you're climbing on top of them, stuff like that. It just really gives you this scope of, wow, I'm really here. This is what it would feel like. There's some parts of it, honestly, that feel like I'm playing Uncharted with some of the climbing. It's just so fun. And it's true to scale with the fact that, for example, my son's playing his version of it, and he has a little bit shorter arms than I do, obviously, because he's younger and smaller at the moment. And I'm a taller person, a little over 6 feet. And so my wingspan is way up here and I can grab and skip some grabs. So it's true to scale, but it does work for those that may be a little shorter, maybe not have that long of a wingspan or length to grab up, or maybe you're a little bit movement impaired going up higher because you had surgery or something. There's plenty of grips and other items you can do to make it work. Just super immersive. Highly recommend. Obviously, I'd say get the bundle just so you had this, but if not, definitely pick this up as soon as you can. Of course, there are a numerous amount of other games, such as Job Simulator, that has a PSVR2 upgrade to the PS5, which they've added some new functionalities with the haptic feedback. They've also added a few more nuances to each job type, whether you're doing the office portion, the chef portion, the garage portion, the grocery store. There's a lot of different things and nuances, so it was really fun to play through again in more of a crisp 4K image. Nothing is blurry whatsoever. Works well, again, the haptics, and it's fun to replay and just go through some of those games. So if you did or have been an early adopter of the PSVR1, definitely double check your game catalog to make sure it does have a free upgrade path. A lot of them do, believe it or not. The other one, which was I heard a lot of good things about this, is Pavlov. We picked up Pavlov. Me and my boy have been playing that together. And it's just like old school Call of Duty or Counter-Strike or something like that, but it's there. And you really have to aim. You really have to aim true to form. And you have to be quick about it, but it's fun. It's so fun. And you have to literally, uncock everything, get the shells out, put in the new clip, and each gun is a little different, right? Your pistol's different than your SMG. Your SMG is different than the, other long range rifles and the snipers and stuff like that. So how you're cocking and the shotguns and all that. There's so many different types of guns. And if you don't know, it actually teaches you how to, load and reload those, which is kind of a cool feat that, I didn't grow up playing or having a ton of that artillery around to check all that out. Or maybe it's been a lot of years since I've been messing around because I don't hunt anymore or something like that. But that's besides the point. But really a great game. It has a ton of different modes, almost like an Among Us mode called TTT. I'm not sure at this point what it stands for. So if you know, definitely drop a comment below. But the people in the headsets, you can hear them, and they just really embrace that role-playing aspect of who is the, traitor, basically, right? Who's the monster in a way, or who the shapeshifter is, but you're not a shapeshifter. So basically who the traitor is. Anywhere from, depending on your lobby, 1 to 3 traitors. So you got to talk it out. You can't just kind of kill your friends or whatever. Everybody can. So that's the thing. Aside from Among Us, you can go around and do whatever you want. Your friends, whatever. But if you do that too much, you can get kicked from the lobby automatically because it wants you to play it legitly. So you have to be careful. You have to play it true to form, right? Just a very fun game. Very cheap to pick up game, anywhere from $19.99 to $24.99 tops, and totally worth every penny there as well. And then, of course, after that, I went ahead and with a gift card got Madden Pro Era or Pro Era. So it is an NFL licensed game where you're basically just playing a quarterback, right? For your favorite team. You can customize your guy a little bit. The graphics aren't super amazing, I'm not going to lie. But it is more akin to like NFL Blitz as far as the character models, but obviously better than that, but not anywhere near realistic in respects to the graphics themselves. But the gameplay experience from the quarterback perspective is really fun. You can move around with your analog, you can move around with your arms a little bit, make your throws, but you do have to be accurate. You do need to know your receivers are running the correct route. You need to know them running the correct route and recognizing that, and all before your offensive line allows a tackle for you to happen, in which your head will rumble with the feedback and your screen goes red, signifying you do, of course, get tackled. So, but it's really a lot of fun. If you are a big football fan, or even, pay attention to it a little bit, you are going to have a lot of fun with that one as well. Every game that I picked up and played so far has not been a disappointment, has been truly immersive, has been really fun. I'm sure there's going to be a few games out there you're like, maybe I didn't need that, but stay tuned to the channel. I'll try to go through those as I can and recommend or not recommend certain ones, but all the ones I did bring up today in today's video, I highly recommend, so definitely check those all out. I think it's really great. And just remember, all these games are not like $60 or $70. They are anywhere from $20 to $30. Maybe, obviously Call of the Mountain, the most expensive at $40, but 100% worth the price because it's a AAA title. And it puts all the bells and whistles into that because it's a flagship title for the PSVR2, so totally worth it. So they're very fairly priced, and I'm sure eventually a lot of those will be going on sale, so it's really just going to be more fun with you saving money in your pockets there. But if not, and these $20 to $30 price points aren't a big deal to you, definitely pick them up. I do think a lot of these are worth the bang for the buck. So that being said, let's round this up. I think my entire time with this, I've been playing every single day. I haven't even skipped a day because I just truly enjoy it. I'd have to say this is the greatest VR experience that I have come across yet. Not just saying that, I know I prefer the PlayStation console, but if it was bad or if it was anything like the PSVR 1 and it hasn't made those leaps and bounds, I'd be 100% honest and say wait. One last thing I want to say before I give the final rating is if you are scared of being sick or motion sickness, this does a lot better because the last ones or a lot of other VRs or possibly the older ones, they are capped at 30 frames per second. I find I got sick a lot with the 30 frames per second. Wasn't able to turn, the motion blur, all that stuff. Well, with all these games here being at 60 frames per second, it helps out tremendously. I was not nauseous one time. With any of these games that I was playing, it felt good, it felt smooth, it was just fantastic. So I do have to say, I give this, since it's the best one, what am I going to rate it against? The price is great, the games are great, the functionality is fantastic. We got OLED 4K. It can possibly do more with a more powerful PlayStation in the future or near future, who knows? So there's a lot of possibilities, and I know we're going to get some major support for this as they continue to go and flourish and bloom. I have to give this a 10 out of 10, folks, on this, and I would highly recommend for anybody that's even remotely interested in this. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The setup process is a little cumbersome right at first just because you have to do all the measurements, make your play area, do the eye tracking. It's simple, but it just takes a little bit, and it is going to take you a moment to get used to the controls if you are not used to these type of VR controls, but it's real simple to pick up after a couple hours with the system itself. You're going to more than familiarize yourself with the whole hardware system, and it's going to be cake going forward. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody sticking around for the entirety of the video. We'll wrap it up. And of course, if you haven't already, leave a like and a comment. And if you haven't, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. I really appreciate it. And until then, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.